Yeah, baby.
Pipe Spencer played it.
But when you have ingredients that some take a small amount of time to cook and some take longer to cook, the chicken takes longer than the shrimp, the sausages are already cooked, so you have to know when to add everything. So of course, the chicken, which is raw, is going to go in the pot first.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Mixson Alawieya, and I am the Vice President of the African American Association of Ghana.
I am Nanaya, also known as Naya for short. Lacy. I am the Secretary of the African American Association of Ghana, and I have been living in Ghana for 5 years. I was originally born in Ghana years ago to two African American parents who moved here in the 60s.
I've been here for 29 3/4 of a year. And yeah, I love Ghana. It's been interesting development raising my children here. Naya, I've met Naya just a few years ago.
5 years ago.
Has it been 5 years? And the first day I met her, she cooked in my house, and that was a wonderful thing. And we've been sisters ever since.
Yes,
and everybody who knows me know I love food. And though I like cooking, I love baking. Naya likes cooking, so we are a match made in heaven when it comes to sisters.
Well, because I was brought up all over the diaspora. I began in Ghana. Even though I left Ghana when I was 1, my parents moved me to Guyana, South America, and then other parts of the Caribbean. So when I decided to move to Ghana, there was no culture shock. I had already lived in places similar. I've had people from Jamaica land in Ghana and wonder if the plane had turned back around to land back in Jamaica. That's how similar Ghana is to the Caribbean, or the Caribbean is to Ghana. So when I got here, I was very comfortable. I still think that we need to do better as far as modernizing ourselves, but I was accustomed to bathing from a bucket and sometimes the lights going out and things like that. So that was no culture shock. And Ghanaians are like Africans everywhere. We're very warm and welcoming and loving people. And that's if you go to the south in Mississippi, to Trinidad and Tobago, to Haiti, to all of these places I've been welcomed by Africans. And it doesn't matter if they're Africans from the continent or it's just in our nature to be kind and loving and welcoming.
When it comes to the food and our similarities, there are quite a few dishes that we have. Today we did the Jamaican peas and rice, and then jambalaya, which is a mixture of vegetables, and you can put different types of meat in. Normally chicken, some seafood,
And the okra.
and okra, sausage, and then vegetables, onions, garlic, tomatoes. Naya did a wonderful one today for us all. And and the Jamaican peas and rice we did today did have the coconut in it, which is very authentic. And so we have other dishes, like your okra soup is similar to gumbo. And then your okra stew is similar to the jambalaya, which is what we had today. A little less tomatoes though, and then mostly they don't put very many in okra. And then we have something, your apra prensa, Apa, which is made with roasted corn, has a very similar taste to our dressing or stuffing that we eat during the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, Easter holidays. Then you have egusi. Egusi is some of us grew up eating our greens, and the greens would be likened to contomere. But we cook it, we boil it. Some of them are tougher than others, so depending on the strength of the green, you would cook it for the amount of time needed. We cut up onions and garlic and that thing. Now, as a child, for me, this doesn't go cross-border in the United States, but my mom's from Mississippi, and so when we make our cornbread, which is made from dry corn and ground into a semi-flour, not quite a flour, just like a semi-fine gari. And so we mix that. When we make the cornbread, like a regular cake sort of like, and then we crumble it. That's how I grew up with it being crumbled. So you have the liquor from the greens being cooked, the crumbled cornbread, and your onions and everything. And so we eat it with our hands. Different from how you eat the egusi with some other carbohydrate, but it looks very similar. Yes.
What are your favorite Ghanaian dishes? Do you have any?
Tozafi is my.
Yes, my favorite dish kind of borders. I like egusi. Egusi, we know the egusi is a Nigerian dish, though I know they use it here. But the egusi, when you say egusi, you mean that the way it's being prepared there, because they prepare it very thick. And then, you got all these different meats inside, or rishi as they call it. And, you might have cow tail, oxtail. You may have some fish, dry fish inside, smoked fish inside, and it's delicious. It's very, very, very delicious. They use the bitter leaf and alefo. Alefo is here in Ghana. Yeah, the bitter leaf is here in Ghana. And and then of course okra. Okra is prepared anyway is one of my favorites.
And okra, to mention, I've been doing research the last 35 years of the similarities of Africans who have been dispersed around the world. Okra is across the board. Everywhere you go, there's okra. Everywhere you go. If you don't find anything else, there's a similarity from America to the Caribbean to South America, to wherever black people are. There's okra. And from the chicken, I do not, because I believe it holds the flavor. So I leave mine on. And like I said, this was a whole chicken. I just cut out the breast.
Both.
You have
Is it
to.
affordable to eat your meals?
Well, Ghana, their prices for food is high. It's considered high. I guess for somebody who's just coming from another Western country, they may think so. But when you compare the prices of food to the surrounding countries, Ghana is way up there. The dish that she prepared, she put smoked turkey in it. Just one piece or two pieces of smoked turkey is like almost 100 cedis. And we buy smoked turkey in the States where I'm from, because I brought a lot when I came this last trip, and I would get 6 or 7 pieces for $2.35. And
that little bit of shrimp that went in the jambalaya was 113 cedis.
Yeah, and so I guess we'd have to go to the sea and try and catch some the next time.
You have to catch the fishermen at Jamestown.
Yes, but it's weird because something like smoked turkey, which gives a lot of flavor to the soul food that we cook.
Because we cook it in our greens, we cook it in our beans.
Yes.
So we might make some black-eyed peas.
Oh yeah.
Or some red beans.
Yeah.
Or some pinto beans, lima beans.
Oh, my favorites.
Navy beans. We have such a variety of beans that I noticed that the Muslim community here has a variety of beans.
Yeah.
Or peas, as we call them. I use them interchangeably, peas and beans. And so those smoked meats really go. We usually do the fish here, but in the States we don't really have smoked fish.
In the Midwest we do.
Oh, okay.
She's a Cali girl.
Yeah, California we don't really have smoked fish.
Yeah.
But in the islands we have salt fish, which we would use in those things. Yes, I've seen salted fish here. Yeah, the Caribbean is salt, but it's not like here. I just see like the tilapia, but there they'll take the biggest fish that you get off of the boat, say in Jamestown, and you splay it down the middle. You soak it in the salt, and you let it sit there until it starts getting wet. Then you put it on a zinc roof and pour salt all over it, and you let it sit out there for at least a month, and then it just gets salted. Then when the rainy season comes, because it would flood. In Guyana, it would flood. So sometimes we would be, we'd be in the house for maybe 2 or 3 months at a time because the water was so high. So that's when you'd need your smoked meats and you'd need your salted fish and things like that. So it was quite a necessity. So yeah, please stir up the chicken some more.
I turned it around and I've turned the fire down.
Are you happy in Ghana? Are you happy?
I love Ghana. I love my African people. I love to see the youth. I'm happy to be here, but I know that we can do so much more. If we stop running off to these other people's countries, take our leadership
And resources.
and make our leadership use our resources for the betterment of Ghana. Not all these foreigners coming and taking all of our gold and our bauxite and our cocoa and everything else and going and making their countries rich. Have us use our wealth, because if we're supposed to be so godly, and if you really want to say that, then we're doing a disservice to God by throwing away what He's giving us. God has given us these resources. That's why they're under our feet. So how dare we just let someone else come and take them on? And then we blame and we say, oh, Ghana's this and Ghana's that. But Ghana would have everything she needed if we utilized our resources as God intended.
Happy? Oh, I am. I'm getting very close to 30 years. So my happiness has gone through different stages, phases, and so yes, I've always been happy. Am I as happy as I was when I first came? I was a very young lady when I first came, and I did so many things. So I really loved being accepted into so many communities, ethnic groups. I have families all over Ghana and beyond, and that has been my saving grace for not packing up a few times and running away, because you, just like she said, there's so much that can be done. It is as if the leadership has their own world, and then the rest of the people are there. And though you find that the poor people are sometimes the happiest, it still hurts when you see that not enough is being done. It's when people come and ask and buy up whatever it is you have, they can't do that unless you allow them to. So I don't have any issues with foreigners. I have issues with those who allow foreigners to come in and do what they do, because it's like if I open my door for you to come in and then I just walk out the back door and leave you, whatever you do in my home, I've opened the door for you. So, but I'm a grandmother now, and my grandbaby is here, so I'm happy. Yes.
So do you have a hometown? Have you picked a place to belong? Like, can you say you're from Fanti or you're from Ashanti? Do you have any ethnic group that you want to belong? Have you picked any?
I have ethnic groups from not only just Ghana, but Mali and Nigeria. So if I say a hometown, no, the strangest thing is I've traveled to all of the regions that I knew before they added a couple, right? But I feel at home everywhere I've gone in Ghana, from the north to the south, east to the west. It has been that way for me. But then when I go to Nigeria, it's the same thing. I think there's a lot of people who come here looking for something, right? And or feeling like something is owed to them, but I think it's the people who are running away from something that they didn't get or couldn't live up to are feeling that way. Because yes, doors have been opened for us to come back home, and what I've seen as far as the development with that over the last 29 years is very slow. But I also believe that not every place is for everybody. I also believe that there's a lot of people coming, black, white, green, yellow, and blue, that don't belong here. But people have to figure that out and decide for themselves, and hopefully not make things worse for them in the process. I am not going to try and force anybody to do anything. I've been here for a long time, and I've lived here peacefully, and I'm okay. I don't need a piece of paper like a lot of people do. It's not going to make any much difference to me. If somebody asks me, am I Ghanaian? Yes, my 30 years in Ghana has made me Ghanaian. And did it take that long? No. From the time I learned how to cook okra soup, fanti, all the dishes, that's when I graduated into my citizenship. Yes. So if they ever want to test me, they should come to my house for dinner or lunch or breakfast. That's right. You're always welcome.
I always felt myself Ghanaian, African at least. I've never gone and taken any of those 23andMe tests or anything, because to me, the Africans that were taken from here 400 years ago, we were bred like cattle. So there would have been, in my lineage, in 400 years at least, say 5 generations. And they have mixed us, so there would be some of us from Benin mixed with some of us from the Ashanti region, and so we would all be Fanti and Ebe and Ga and Yoruba and all these other different Malian, all these different ethnicities, because they bred us like cattle. So nobody stayed in one ethnic group. So I can't say that I am this or that. I feel at home where my ancestors returned me to, because they said come. And I've been here for 5 years, and I just feel as if I'm home. That's whether, other people feel it for me or not. That's what I feel. So I'm with Vanessa. I don't need a piece of paper. I would like to have the piece of paper so that I can travel and go to different African countries without having to get a visa for here and there and things like that. And when I go to Benin, I have to get a visa for Togo, then a next visa for Benin. So that would be great if I didn't have to, but I'm going to get married in a few.
Or you do like me, you tie your hair, put your old dress on, and cross them borders like an African.
Just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Just go.
Anyway, but I told my husband I'm marrying him for his citizenship. So I'm going to marry him and become a Ghanaian citizen.
So lastly, what advice advice do you have for the young Ghanaians? Because most of them want to be American.
My main thing is that we need to have a mindset revolution. The young people, these beautiful young people here, have been fed all of these lies, not only from history, but from the television. You look on television and you think that America is this perfect place. They don't know that I've buried 13 black men in the last 20 years, close to me. Because that's what happens in America, is our black men die. They get killed. It's not a place to go. It's not a place that you want to be. So if we just put our energies into Ghana, Ghana would be paradise. Just the way the people are loving and caring, and we have all the resources to pave all the roads, put toilets in all the schools, and just modernize the place. That's all we need. We've got the mental capacity, so if we would focus on us instead of focus on trying to get away to go be with other people. And remember that self-pride. Nobody wants to be African anymore, and that's sad.
Except for the ones that are on the other side. I guess what I would say is, right now the world is going through some sort of transition, and we don't know what transition that is, and it may not be a good one. So my advice would be, no matter what it is you're studying, just get you a piece of land and do some farming on the side, because there will be a time where we will need to do that.
That's how you're going to survive.
It's being said all over the world that a lot of, I guess they were, I don't know what type of consultants they were, but they spoke about Ghana having very rich land, and that the best thing for Ghana is agriculture. And people are coming from outside. I met an Asian guy a couple of years ago in a completely different capacity, who was doing IT, but he's here farming, and he's helping farmers, which is really great. But our people in the South need to understand that is going to be the way forward. If you want to be in Ghana, because my children grew up here, and my daughter is back in the States, wishing she could be here, but not really wanting to go through what it takes to work under a private company. It's hard. So you have to build. People, they feel that they need to go and build something before they come back. Some do have to do that, because a lot of those who are going into going to be elders soon, that's what they've done. They stayed out for a while and then come back. But I would say invest in agriculture, and come together and be a team at it. And look, we're having a shortage of corn, and people can't feed the chickens can't lay eggs, or they can't feed their animals.